And then we see Chronicle take up a spot into I like it again. Back and forth, knowing they found the operator is actually huge for Vision Strikers here. As they'll see if they can catch a little bit more. And actually right there, Defo protects Shadows from being seen.
Oh. That was big, man. You can tell he was thinking about it too. RB tries to take some space away. Gets punished. Vision Strikers looking to work the middle of the map. And you've got King who's ensuring that there's no push in from A. So you know that B's not safe, but it's a bit touch and go the rest of the way. Love that from Redgar there. If we do lose mid, there's nowhere to go, and that is icing on the cake, baby. Chronicle takes care of stacks.
The amount of utility control Gambit is using to win this round right now is incredible. Now moving through the smoke, Vision Strikers need to push. They need to gain some ground and finding a wall to their right as soon as they get through, giving themselves up.
Oh, and that's what we were talking about just a moment ago, right? That wall's so good out of Redgar. This feels like so Gambit. This is such a Gambit way to potentially clean things up. They try to go in. Buzz gets good on one, but nAts. Who else but nAts? You've got Mako dropping the Viper's Pit. He's in a 1v4, though. He drops down. He gets cleaned up. Chronicle gets it from diminuendo to crescendo. The Gambit Symphony. I think there's so much to unpack here. But I think there are a few big things to look at here as we think about Gambit, as we think about tournament runs. We talked about it previously. Like, when you give up big leads like they did against 100 Thieves, right?
The mental boom was a question.
Right. We talked about that. How are they going to be able to respond? What does grit look like? Because again, that's where you learn so much about yourself. That's where you learn what you're made of. And for Gambit to, again, for map 1 to go the way that it did, and then for map 2 and 3 to be so tight, to be so closely contested, Vision Strikers threw everything they had at them, and Gambit were, I mean, they took a couple of punches, don't get me wrong, but they looked great.
Yeah, definitely better on the day. You can see it in the frags, in the KDA. At the end, it does matter what's on that board, and we saw Chronicle coming up big time and time again. DeSova dropping a 21 bomb on this one. nAts at 16, Shados at 16, Defo at 16. That is a surplus of frags coming in from Gambit, and that would require Vision Strikers to fight back just as hard, and it wasn't in the tank today.
And I think even, we think through some of what you were just breaking down. Buzz also, that was one of the things we chatted on for Split, right? Buzz had 6 first touches, things going great for Vision Strikers.
4 in this game.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, they had some of, maybe not to the same degree, but they had some of the ingredients for a winning recipe. But for Gambit, excuse me, again, you talked about how well they were bunched up. They all fragged out. nAts had 8 assists. Redgar had 8 as well. It wasn't the sexiest of performances. He didn't pop off on the kill feed or on the scoreboard at the end of the day. But Redgar's calling, the way he played around his Sage util, and look, he was the thing, at least on the attacking half, he was the guy that had to go in there and plant the spike, right? Like, that was his job. Guess what? You're gonna die a lot when that's your job.
Redgar zenning out there on the floor. And I like the fact that you point that out. And it's not to kind of tag on to Vision Strikers. It's to show you how the game played out for Gambit. That Buzz did have 23 frags. Mako had 12, and then, under that were the rest, meaning that operator was so big for Vision Strikers. But when that operator fell down, the rifling of Gambit was just that much stronger, always able to find their opponents in a 1v1, 3v1. We saw multiple multi-kill rounds from almost every member of Gambit, and they really came today to play, and they look like a team that could very much be in the finals. Obviously, any of them do here, but that was a showing against Vision Strikers.
Yeah, I think the fun thing for Gambit is there have been questions really leading up to the tournament, into the tournament, right? Like, is the roster strong enough? How will Defo perform on the international stage? What does their grit look like? Because they could have mentally boomed. And I think for Gambit, the big thing here is that they're answering every single question, right? Like, every shred of doubt that may be thrown their way, every sort of question mark around, well, what about this? Can they do this? What happens when this happens? Gambit are weathering all of it.
Whew, we got our first team in the semifinals.
Ladies ladies and gentlemen, we see Lack here for the first time in this tournament, Sean, on the Masters Berlin stage.
The pressure is on.
nAts has been an absolute monster this entire series, this entire tournament.
Vision Strikers very close to losing their first map here at Masters Berlin, and Gambit is going to make it a quick one.
nAts! Gambit! What have we just seen?
Nice!
One enemy. But it was a Gambit's day, and nAts is standing by right now with Riv for the Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you, Sue. Yes, I am joined by nAts, and I swear 2 seconds ago he wasn't here, literally just lurking up. I never saw him come in. He does it in real life, too. Honestly, though, nAts, what an amazing game for Gambit to take down Vision Strikers in that fashion. You know, we heard the devs say it was pretty gritty, but I have to start at game one. Did you expect to have that kind of performance on Bind against Vision Strikers?
Actually, I would say that before the game, before the maps gonna be other maps, we wanted to, we was thinking about the Bind, and we say to each other, okay, we have a lot of experience on the tournament, and we will show our best performance on it. We was ready to show that game what we showed today.
So, and how do you approach a game where they put in a new player? Did that throw Gambit off at all, or were you ready to just go in and play the same way you would have?
We was ready for that. If we're gonna talk about it yesterday's game or today's game, today was ready for everything. So we was ready for the other guy on the Bind, and we was ready for the split, icebox. Something went wrong on split, but anyway, we did it on icebox.
Talk to me about that quick. What do you feel like wasn't the same on split for you?
So actually, we lost 2 clutches, I guess, 2 stacks. It's our economy just shit because of that, and that's why I guess we lost a lot of important rounds. And maybe we can play better on T side. I guess we played 4-8, right?
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we could do 6-6, and if we don't lose 2 clutches, it might be easy win for us. But unluckily, we will have to play the third map, and we win that.
All right, I have two more questions for you before I let you go. One about you, and then one obviously looking forward to your semifinal matchup. nAts, I have to ask, you, at the beginning of the round, the middle of the round, middle of the map, 5 rounds in, you're always behind enemy lines. What makes you so good at understanding your opponents and knowing the timing of map rotations?
Actually, we're watching their demos, and I'm watching how they're doing rotations. After that, in the game, I'm just listening what my teammates saying. I'm listening how they're doing rotations, and because of that, and actually, yeah, I'm trying to play aggressive. I don't scare to do some crazy stuff, and that's why maybe I have good timings. I'm just trying to read what opponent's doing. And
there you go. Put a little nAts into your play right there. Final question for you. Crew Esports versus G2 Esports. We will face one of these teams. How are you feeling about either matchup, and who do you think will make it through?
Actually, I think it's going to be G2. We played against them on the EMEA, but right now it's going to be on stage, and I think it's going to be a very interesting game. But actually, Crew can show some good performance, but I think it's going to be G2.
All right. Well, nAts, thank you so much for taking the time to join me here. Congratulations on the win and moving on in playoffs.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. We are taking a quick commercial break, but on the other side, it's going to be Crew Esports versus G2 Esports. You won't want to miss it.